My name is River, and today I'm gonna show you how I wash, clean, eat, poop, do all my daily life things, even though my 19 foot yurt does not have a bathroom, a cooking area, etc., etc. This is my yurt. This is where I sleep. It's like my living room, especially at night. And over here, I have my outdoor kitchen set up. I've got this whole tarp configuration thing going on. Okay, I filmed this a second ago when it was really messy, and I feel like that's not doing justice to my setup. So, yeah, this is like my main kitchen area. Over here, we have my Blackstone cast iron grill thing. I got this for free. It's normally really expensive. Me and my ex got it from a client whose husband died and never used it. It has one really big burner where I can fit my huge pot for heating up water, as well as like regular sized pots and pans. And then it has this amazing cast iron griddle, which I use for cooking all kinds of stuff. This massive table with a sink tub in it, I just found lying around on the property. Nobody told me where it came from, but they said I could use it, which is great. On top here, I have this little container, which I got for free also, which I keep my knives and then my utensils in. Most of them are in the sink right now. I need to wash them. I have a small propane stove, which I use for making coffee and boiling and heating small amounts of water like tea. I have soap. This is my salt well. I keep salt in there. Sink full of dirty dishes. We're about to do dishes. I have one of these stainless steel things. I have a big water tank thing, which I use for when I just need to like rinse something off, when I need to just like clean one thing. You can totally do dishes with cold water. I just prefer to let my dishes build up for a couple days and then use hot water that I heat up on the stove, because you end up needing less water and it's just easier to like get the grease and stuff out. I have another thing of soap, which I lost for a while, but that's like refillable, so I put soap in there. I have chili oil, which I keep out because I put this in like everything. Giant thing of olive oil, which I keep out because I use that all the time, especially on the cast iron stove. Then I have another vase with what's it called? Utensils. I've got a towel out because I'm about to do dishes and I just leave them to dry there. Underneath, it's not super organized, but this is kind of my waste system. I have trash. That's compost. There's a compost pile in the garden that I bring my compost to. I use this paper bag for recycling. We can't recycle glass here, which sucks. So I usually will save up glass and bring it to my friend's house, or I will reuse it if possible, like if it's a jar. This box, I keep like my trash bags and tinfoil and stuff like that in there. They're kind of dirty and I haven't even opened them, but I have a food safe gallon bucket of flour and rice back there. Yeah, I haven't tapped into those in a minute. And underneath here, I have a bucket that catches the gray water from the sink, which I just dump into the Mahonia and ferns back there. And, yeah, that's been working out really well. Over here, I have a little rack, which I keep all my cups up here. My plates are usually here, but they're all pretty much dirty right now. This pan over here has gotten really dusty, but I don't use it that much, so that's there. Over here, I have my dry goods in this cooler. So this is like shelf-stable things. This is not super secure, and even though there are raccoons on the property, I haven't had any raccoons try to get in there, knock on wood. This little area is just across from my sink setup, and this is a table I got for free. This is the side table that goes for it that I also got for free. It's getting pretty beat up being outside, but it is shit quality, like not even solid wood furniture. So it's doing its job, which is holding my extra cooking stuff that I don't use as much. Up here, I have a basket where I put like garlic, bananas, carrots, potatoes, whatever can sit out. I have some loose leaf tea. I have more tea in my dry storage area. I have a little basket with my hand towels and napkins. I have whatever water I have jugged up over here. I have my cast iron tripod, which I try to keep off the ground. It's already gotten pretty rusty, but I put cast iron pans on there to cook in the fire. And then over here I have my cooler that I keep things that need to be eaten as soon as possible, can't be stored forever. Over here I just have a crate with some random stuff in it, a tarp, more paper towels. There's like some bungee cords in there, band-aids. I like to have areas where I can kind of like put stuff that isn't organized so that it's at least corralled up. So yeah, this is my outdoor kitchen setup. Sorry about the chainsaws. I have the cooking area, cleaning area over here, storage, and then my little like outdoor living room fire pit area, and my table. For breakfast, I can pretty much make anything that I want. I do like French toast, pancakes, eggs. I can do oatmeal. I don't really do oatmeal. I should. I have the stuff for it, but don't really do that. Romeo's trying to get me to play with him. Is it time to throw a ball, buddy? Or a stick? Is it stick throwing time? I tend to be somebody who makes a massive like brunch breakfast thing and then dinner and maybe eat snacks, but that's it. Partially because I work nights and I don't wake up until like 11 most days. So I'm about to make coffee and reheat some pancakes that I made yesterday and make up some eggs. And then I'll show you how I do dishes. Getting the water going for coffee. I actually didn't have enough drinking water for coffee, so we're gonna go get some more, which will get to the first point of where do I get water. There is a pump. You can kind of see how far away I am from the camp. I am almost to this pump. There's a pump over here. But that is not where we're going to go get water for coffee. The pump provides me with water for washing dishes and taking baths, bathing, but it does not taste good. It tastes like plastic. Like I can barely drink that water, even though when they put the water line in for me, they used the type of pipes that are supposed to be drinkable. It tastes terrible. So I only use that water for washing and bathing purposes, but that's kind of what you need the most quantity of water for, and what is like the most inconvenient to go get more stuff for. So yeah, I am taking you with me and monologuing for the duration of time that it takes for me to get to the chicken coop area of the farm, which is where there is another pump that has water that actually tastes good, which is where I get my drinking water. And a lot of times I have this little like wagon thing and I'll bring like 3 or 4 of these. Fuck, I just had something go in my eye. I'll bring like 3 or 4 of these and fill them all up at once, but sometimes I just want to go for a little walk with my one jug and not do a whole thing like today. So I'm just gonna go get a gallon and I can go get more water later. I usually need about like 2 gallons of drinking water a day for Romeo and I. Okay, I'm almost there. I can also show you next to here in the chicken coop building is where I charge my shit. There is a charger right here. I will plug my laptop in and the cord reaches to this old dryer. and I'll plug my phone in, and I also plug in this little like portable charger thing I have that will charge my phone back at the yurt. I got my gallon of water now. I would love to have one of those little like portable battery bank things. Like there's a Jackery one, there's an EcoFlow one. They're like $300 for the smallest one. And the only things that I charge are my phone and my laptop. My laptop charge lasts a long time. My phone I need to charge up completely about twice a day, sometimes once a day. And yeah, it's just not really that big of a deal for me to go charge it, walk over to the other part of the property and charge it up. I also am charging it whenever I'm driving, which, you know, when I'm working, I have a pretty long commute to both my jobs. I drive an hour and a half to one of my jobs and a half an hour to my other job. And then I have this, like I said, this portable battery bank. It's like a really small one, like it just charges one phone, but it holds 2 phone charges, and I like to keep that charging on the chicken coop charger whenever I'm not using it, so that I have 2 phone charges I can tap into whenever I want to. I don't have Wi-Fi. There is Wi-Fi on the property if I want to go take my laptop up to the greenhouse. It's pretty weak Wi-Fi. But I do have like data cell service on my phone, so I can access the internet on my phone, and I can use it as a hotspot for my laptop at the yurt. If I want to. It does drain the battery a lot, so I don't do that very much. And kind of the only thing that I use my laptop internet for is I'm a photographer, videographer on top of my jobs, and I have to send big files, and it doesn't really work for that. So usually I'll just wait until I'm like at a coffee shop. There's a library down the road, or at my friend's house that I stay at on Friday and Saturday night to work, use the Wi-Fi there. This is my bathroom, my outhouse. I pretty much pee outside whenever and wherever I want, but number 2 is in here, and I have a little wash station. I have a cube of water which I pump from the plasticky tasting but watery water pump over there. I've got some Castile soap here, and then I can just wash my hands as soon as I get out, which I love. I'm obsessed with the kind of like overhanging tree situation that's going on over here. You can kind of see how far away the rest of my camp is. It's a bit of a distance, but nothing too crazy. It's kind of nice having the outhouse be a little ways away from the rest of the camp. This is my wood for the winter. I bought 2 cords of dried maple hardwood. I have to be kind of conservative with it because it might not quite be enough, but the yurt heats up really, really quickly, and that stove is super efficient, which is good. Water is boiling, time for coffee. I have a little French press insert for this. Basically just make camping coffee every day. I should just get a regular French press because the French press camping version can be a little annoying. If you're someone like me who would rather just drink caffeinated tea than coffee without cream in it, but you're in a situation like I am where you don't have a refrigerator, I have been using this Layered superfood creamer. It's not an ad. I grew up with my parents using Coffee Mate, even though they had a refrigerator, and I always thought that was really gross, and I've always been like a real cream or like an oat milk person, but yeah, basically I just didn't want to go back to Coffee Mate, and this actually tastes pretty good, and it has like some special shit in it, and yeah, I think it tastes good. It's better than nothing. You kind of have to use a lot of it. It's a little bit expensive, but it's on sale, and then I'll just buy a couple at a time because there's nothing worse than being out of coffee. And I'm using a knife to stir this because I need to do dishes, which next step of the agenda is I will get some hot water going for dishes while I'm drinking this, and then I'll show you how I do dishes. Oh man, I'm just making a giant mess. Classic. When I first moved in here at the beginning of the summer, I would buy ice every couple days, and then I decided that one, it was way too expensive, and B, it was super annoying, so I don't do that anymore. I basically just restrict myself to only having things that can be kept at room temperature. So I buy high quality organic pasture-raised eggs, even though they are super expensive. I buy butter, which can stay at room temperature. The other thing that I had in there was like I found a shelf-stable miso paste. People are probably gonna freak the fuck out about this, but processed, like not homemade, but like processed mayonnaise in a squeeze bottle actually keeps for a really long time. Squeeze bottle helps eliminate bacteria getting back into it to stop it from getting moldy. And yeah, before you say that that's crazy and, you know, mayonnaise has raw eggs in it and you can't do that, I've been eating stuff with mayonnaise in it with this method for months and I haven't gotten sick. I have not gotten any kind of sick from anything from living this way. And I am one of those gross people who loves mayo, and I was really sad because for the first couple months I didn't have any after I gave up on the ice thing, which was maybe like a month in. So having that has been a game changer. And I also will buy like hard aged cheeses like Parmesan. There's also stuff that I will keep just for like a day, like my leftovers. It is getting pretty cold at night, which is awesome. Soon I'll be able to keep more stuff because it'll just be cold outside. Yeah, I like if I make a big thing of food, I try to eat it all the next day. If I work at a restaurant as one of my jobs as a bartender, and if I get free food, I try to eat it all within 24 hours if it's, you know, stuff that you normally put in the fridge. So yeah, eventually, would it be cool to have some kind of small battery that powers a fridge? Yes, if I got like sponsored for that or something, that would be cool, but I don't really feel like I'm lacking right now with not having that. I've gotten pretty used to it, and as somebody who rented a house in Seattle and for the last like 5 years and then had apartments before that and it always had a full kitchen setup, I actually find it to be kind of like fun creatively having these constraints. And when I go visit friends and stay with them, I'll be like, I'm gonna cook a whole chicken at your house. Hey, can I cook us all a giant meal? Because it's fun to be able to cook anything and go into free play, unlimited cooking mode. But I've had a lot of fun cooking for myself with these creative restraints. That's good. Real good. This guy right here is how I do dishes, how I bathe, how I do all sorts of shit, how I hand wash clothes. We're gonna get into how I just like regular wash clothes. I'm not washing all my clothes in here, but this is a like vintage, what's it called? Canning pot that I found on the side of the road in Portland. I have this long hose attachment from the pump that cuts down a little bit of the distance that I have to carry it. And I try not to let it fill up all the way. I'm just gonna go for like 2/3 to 3/4 so that I can still carry it back to my stove so I can heat up this water. Pop this bad boy on my stove, which is absolutely massive. Light it. And it actually does not take that long to boil. Like it will take... And I don't want it to boil because if it all the way boils, it takes forever to cool down. I don't want boiling water on my hands. Just go for like hot hand temp. It's going to take like probably less than 10 minutes, which is better than if you were trying to heat up a giant pot on your home stove, probably. I haven't even drank a whole cup of coffee and this water is almost too hot, so it's ready to go. I'll just finish this cuppa and then we'll get into washing dishes. My methodology here is that I have this giant pot of almost boiling but not quite boiling because my hands need to go in it water. I use this ceramic cup as a dipper because the ceramic doesn't get hot, to pull hot water out of it and then use that to wash. I could wash directly into here, but because I use this also for my bathing water, I really just don't want this to get greasy in any way. I like to know that this container is perfectly clean at all times, and that I can use it for more water whenever I want. If I were to get another one, then I could use one, you know, in the sink and one for other stuff. But I just know myself, and I know this would get greasy if I was using it directly. I like to have a little dish that I put soap in, then have a brush. I dip in that soap and repeat until the thing is clean and you're just rinsing off the soap. Do I miss having a dishwasher? Yes and no. I do, but also I find that living by myself, like when I got divorced, I was very much the homemaker of the couple that I was in. And like I would always be thrifting dishes for us. Like I bought pretty much all of our cookware. For the majority of the relationship, I was responsible for doing all or the majority, depending on different times of domestic tasks. And we didn't have a microwave. Well, we had one, but we put it in storage. We didn't use it because, and I still believe this, me and my ex agreed that food doesn't taste good microwaved. So basically, we had a ton of dishes, a ton of cookware, and 2 people were using them. And every time we heated something, we were heating it in a pan or a pot in the stove or the oven. And basically, it was like an absolutely never-ending amount of hand washing and dishes in general, regardless of, sometimes when something's almost clean, I'll just dip it in the hot water, or when it just has a little bit of soap on it. It's an absolutely never-ending amount of dishes, both dishwasher dishes and hand washing dishes. And now, because I've chosen, I only have a couple plates. I have like 3 plates, I have like 3 forks, I have like 3 of everything. And I'm the only one doing stuff. And I do it, you know, I'm cooking mostly on my cast iron griddle, which I just wipe down with oil and a paper towel when I'm done. Basically, I have way less dishes to do. So I don't mind hand washing them as much as I thought I would. Dishes used to be my least favorite chore ever. I still don't love it. But I don't hate it on the level that I used to. And it tends to never take me more than like 20 minutes to do all of my dishes. And also, you know, sometimes I'll just like cold wash a plate or a fork before I do like a whole round of hot water dishes like I'm doing now, if I run out of something. And having fewer items really helps just make it so that like I never have to wash more than 3 plates at a time, you know, 3 bowls. I only have like a couple pots. I have like 1 pot that I do everything in. I have 1 cast iron pan, but I don't even really use it that much because I pretty much use my griddle as a pan the majority of the time. I was using the cast iron pan to cook over the fire for a while, but I decided not to, you know, I just haven't. It's been raining, and once I kind of figured out the cast iron griddle situation, I've just been loving that. It works really well, it heats up really quickly and evenly, and I can cook a bunch of stuff on there at the same time, which is awesome. Sounds like pancake mix in it still. I hope that you can hear me while I'm doing this and that it's not super annoying that I'm talking and doing dishes. If you're wondering how this setup is going to work in the winter, the area that I live in gets very little snow. It just rains a lot, and the tarp does need to be like adjusted every couple times that it rains really hard, because it does like start to sag a little bit with the weight of it. But it's on paracord. I have like quick knots that I can undo and then adjust to work on that. And it's actually really peaceful and not that bad doing dishes and cooking under here in the rain. And in general, I think that maybe part of why I don't hate doing dishes so much is that I am doing them outside. And I know for a lot of people, the idea of like cooking and doing your dishes and eating outside, sometimes I eat in the yurt, but mostly I don't, sounds like a quality of life downgrade. To me, it's a quality of life upgrade. I love spending the majority of my time outside, and that's a big part of why I choose to live this way. Basically, saving money and then spending the majority of time outside are my two MOs. I'm actually going to be taking over this abandoned hunting cabin that also has no electricity or water on a different part of the property soon. And I think I'm going to move my kitchen setup over there, but I'm not going to put it inside the house. I'm going to put it on this covered porch that's over there, because I now feel like there's a lot of advantages to being outside. Like, I feel like as a messy person, it's a lot easier for me to just have everything be like out in the dirt, and then if things make a mess, then it just kind of like biodegrades. You don't have to clean the floor, which is great. And yeah, I just like really enjoy being outside, so I'm here for it. It's actually pretty awesome, and living in a mild climate like we do, that's pretty easy. I need to dump out the water thing under here. I didn't do it before. Usually it can go a whole wash cycle without needing to be dumped out. That's it. That's another reason why I don't use really hot water, is that, it does cool down when it's in the bucket for a while, but I don't want it to hurt the plants. Okay, I just did all the dishes, and now that we're at the end, there's a little bit of hot water left, and I'm just going to rinse the sink out with that. A little scrubby. Now you can actually see the bottom of my sink. If you're looking at this, you're like, that's disgusting. I've poured bleach all over this multiple times. This is a sink that was sitting outside for years and was free. So yeah, eventually I would love to like go buy a sink or get a used sink that is nicer and maybe build a new table, setup, whatever. But this table and this thing were incredibly useful to me, and I've been focusing on paying off debt since I moved in, which I just did recently, pay off all my debt. So I'm really grateful for this setup. The most difficult thing for me about cooking has actually been not the constraints of not having an oven, although my wood stove in my yurt does technically have an oven. I haven't tried to like use it yet. It's not very like temperature controlled. It's actually just that I have to only cook basically one meal at a time, because I can't really save things. Like, I can cook enough for like eating more later or maybe the next day, but since I don't have a fridge, I can only make what I'm going to eat immediately, which has been a challenge because I used to be a like meal prep person, making huge amounts of food to last me multiple days, and I can't do that, at least not right now. Once it's colder, I can use the outside as a fridge, and that will be great. But yeah, yesterday I made pancakes, and I had 2 left over. They're basically just bread, so they're perfectly fine for me to eat the next day. I'm gonna cook up some eggs and put some chives on them from my garden and eat those together, and that's gonna be breakfast. I'm gonna make that on the griddle. Some of my favorite things to make for dinners here include making ramen, miso paste, mirin, soy sauce, use coconut aminos, but whatever. All of those, like bouillon cubes of broth, all of those things can be room temperature. And then I'll add like carrots. I have a bunch of noodles at any given time. I can add a soft-boiled egg or a fried egg to it. I can add other hearty vegetables that can stay out at room temperature, like cabbage. That's something that I've been making almost every week. I absolutely love ramen, so that's been really fun. I can also add like a can of coconut milk to it if I want it to be creamy. I make a lot of pasta. Like tonight, I'm probably going to make a little pasta with some canned tomato sauce that my neighbor gave me and canned venison that my neighbor gave me, and then just what's it called? Noodles. If I had like chard or spinach, that would be awesome. A lot of times I have that. Right now I don't. I missed work this week because I was sick, so I've been trying to only eat what I have here and not go shopping and not leave, so I'm not spending any money. Yeah, so that's fun. I make a lot of grilled cheeses. I make a lot of just like peanut butter banana honey sandwiches. Let's see what else. Last night I just boiled a bunch of potatoes with salt and olive oil, and then I added a packet of chickpea tikka masala curry to that, which was super delicious. Let's see, what else do I like to make? I'll just like show some of the things that I've made that I've taken photos of, but I do mostly do pasta and ramen because it's super easy and filling and delicious. And then I also pretty much, not every day, but pretty frequently will just heat up a can of soup. Super easy, and maybe have some bread with that. There's a plane overhead. There's a private plane on one of the properties over there. It only comes out sometimes though, thankfully. When I would film outside in Seattle, there'd be a plane overhead like every 2 seconds. Yeah, basically, I love cooking, and it's been really fun for me to get creative with the constraints that I have here. And I will probably make a different video that's like all about all of the things that I cook with like recipe ideas and stuff like that. And that's breakfast. I was gonna use the pancakes, but I remembered I put banana in them, and I thought that banana and cheese and chives would be a little bit weird. Oh my god. Everything tastes better on a cast iron stove. We're going. Yeah, long story short, I put my laundry onto my little cart thing, and I drag it up to the shop house that is my friends Jai and Mackenzie's. Jai's the guy who built my Yurt platform. He was in my video about building the Yurt. Mackenzie's his fiance. They have a washer and dryer on in their shop house thing, and I can use it when they're not using it, so I have to check with them before I use it. Right now they're on a road trip, so they're gone, so I've got free laundry access, and I'm gonna get some bedding done. Take advantage of this opportunity. Other way that I do laundry is I stay with my very good friend in Portland when I go there to work Friday and Saturday night almost every week. I'm actually about to slow down and only go once a month for November, December, just to take a little break and do my other job more. I'll make a video about what I do for work and stuff soon, but I'll bring my laundry over there and do it over there too. I kind of go half and half on using my friend's washer and dryer on the weekends and sneaking in my laundry when Jai and Mackenzie aren't doing laundry. I do sometimes hand wash stuff, especially my like dance outfits, which are really small and need to be hand washed anyway. In Romeo, he's falling behind. In my same like bin thing that I do my dishes in, and sometimes I will wash stuff in the washing machine, but then take it back down here to dry manually on my clothesline. I think that sheets and stuff are really nice dry on the clothesline, so in the summer when it was really hot, I did that a lot. I'm not really doing that anymore. I'm back. The sun is rapidly setting. I'm making some penne pasta with canned tomato and venison my neighbor gave me. He taught me how to can tomatoes recently, and I need to go get my canned tomatoes from our session from him soon, but this is just some canned tomato sauce that he made at a different time. It's just like sauce. It doesn't really have anything in it, so I'm gonna whip up some garlic on the grill too really fast. And I might, I wish I had onion, but I don't have onion right now. Or actually, there might be one in my car. I did have an onion in my car, This is from the farm. Garlic's from the farm. And yeah, I'm gonna saute up some onions with garlic on the grill, and then I'm gonna boil the pasta in the pasta water that I've got on the big burner right now. And then I'm gonna just put the sauce and the venison and the sauteed veggies on the noodles and let them all warm up together in the pot a little bit more. And I'm telling you that, but hopefully I'll show you too. And yeah, it's gonna be yummy. It's gonna be simple, but it's gonna be good. Step one of taking a bath is getting another thing of hot water going. It's gonna take a minute, so I'm gonna go on to step two. Step two is getting the fire going so that my house is warm when I get done bathing outside, which makes a huge difference. It does not take very long for the yurt to get so hot that I either have to open up the door a crack or all the way, or not wear any clothes. So perfect for transitioning out of bathing outside. This is the laziest fire ever. Sometimes just having a ton of paper in there is all that you really need. So now we're coming to my little bath setup. This is underneath a cedar tree. I have some stones leading up to a metal grate that I stand on so that I don't end up standing in the mud while I'm bathing. My friend gave me this metal grate found on the side of the road. Over here where my candle is, I also have my dry brush, which I like to use on my skin before I bathe, soap, and a crystal, cut crystal pitcher that I dip into my water bucket, which is down here. It's the same one I've been using. And then I just pour the water over myself. I like to hang up my towel on one of the cedar branches that hangs down over here. Overall, the water is hot enough that I end up being borderline too hot. So the coldness of the air feels really good. And I find this to actually be an extremely beautiful, romantic, cozy setup. I have done it in the rain. I just bring my waterproof lamp and don't light candles. And I feel like I'm also giving the cedar water, which feels good, especially in the summer when the cedar's not getting very much water. Now, the only thing that's left is to cozy up by the fire. I'm gonna put on cozy clothes in a second, but I do like to just come in with my towel on immediately and sit in front of the fire. Will that be more difficult when it's snowing? I'm sure it will be, but you know what I think is more difficult? Going to a job that you hate 40 hours a week for the rest of your life or for a really long time and barely being able to pay rent. I like doing difficult things. I find that bathing experience I just did is extremely enjoyable. It feels spiritual. It feels sacred. It feels beautiful. It feels like I'm in communion with the cedar. I actually bought a propane like shower hose thing by EcoFlow that I haven't set up yet because I'm enjoying my just like bucket bath experience thing that I've been doing so much. So yeah, I'm sure I will set it up eventually. But the part of the problem is that it can only reach to the like hose pump area, which is not as private. And I do want to thrift a cast iron tub and put that over there. And then, because I'm such a bath person, I love baths, then I can put that on a wood pallet and have that propane powered heater hooked up to the water faucet that I showed y'all earlier and fill up the bath that way. And that would be amazing. I've stayed in Airbnbs with outdoor baths. I don't care if it's snowing. I don't care if it's raining. My propane thing is waterproof. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to in the winter. I just haven't set it up yet. I also just want to add that taking, I guess it's like not a bath or a shower. It's a bathing experience. That kind of bathing experience like I just did, it leaves me feeling as clean and refreshed as any shower or bath. So yeah, it's truly lovely, and I figured that out myself. And I think about a lot about how, like, in the past, um, you know, having a big pot of water over your fire that you heat up would be pretty luxurious, and just being able to wash with hot water and not cold water would be pretty luxurious. And just having water in general is a luxury. Over the summer when it was really dry, I was really careful to save like extra water. Even if I was like cleaning out Romeo's dog bowl, I would put the water into my containers, trying to like any extra water that I need to, you know, dump out to give it to the trees. This whole experience has been very just like enlightening in terms of having me appreciate the water that I have access to. Oh my god, there's a fucking stink bug in here. I gotta get this guy. So yeah, that is how I drink water. I didn't include brushing my teeth, but that's really easy because y'all know I have drinking water. I have toothbrush outside. I just spit into the bushes or into my sink. That's how I wash my clothes, which is basically just borrowing the washer and dryer on the other part of the property, or going to my friend's house. And that's how I bathe. I was gonna dish this pasta up, but honestly, I'm like trying to be realistic here. I'm just gonna eat this out of this cute little pot. Then I can put the lid back on it and eat more as a snack later because I'm gonna be up for a while. I don't want to make extra dishes dirty just for a YouTube video, and I want to show you like how I actually live, even if you might say it's uncivilized. I don't usually eat on my couch, but I've got this giant pot to contain. Oh my god. The way my neighbor cans his venison, it tastes like slow cooker beef. The sauce has a lot of umami. It's like 7:30 now. Because I work nights on my days off, I tend to stay up pretty late. So I'm going to eat as much of this as I can. I'm going to put the lid on it and just set it over on my desk. And then I'll just keep snacking on it all night. And then if there's any left in the morning, I'll eat it in the morning. So I eat in a day. So I cook in my off-grid yurt setup, even though I don't have a kitchen inside or running water or electricity. I never go hungry. In general, I would just say that the cast iron griddle makes everything taste better. So like I could make the same thing at home in a regular kitchen and it's gonna taste better in my outdoor kitchen. And there's something about being in the middle of nowhere and being like 45 minutes from a grocery store and not being able to go get more ingredients and whipping up something out of what I have in the pantry and like whatever random fresh things that I have and then eating it in my little off-grid yurt. That's just like way more satisfying. It's kind of like camping, where the food just tastes better when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have no other options. And I've also saved a lot of money because I can't DoorDash, I can't go to the store. Whatever I have is whatever I have. And it's really fucking good. Okay, bye. I'm gonna eat out of this pot like a gremlin. This is also a vintage pot that my friend gave me. And at the time I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna use this because I had so many other pots. But then comes with a strainer that fits in it. I decided to take it with me because my other pots were too big. And now it's like my most used thing, which is awesome. Okay, bye.